Today, I'm going to talk to you about how to spot the P.I.A. customer, the pain in the you know what. Listen, after doing this for 13, going on 14 years, guys, you know, there's such thing as human intuition, and you can tell when somebody is going to be a problem customer, right? You can automatically tell. But sometimes we're so eager to get this doggone account that we kind of, let it go by us and we go, well, maybe it's not as bad as, you may think it is, Maybe they were a little bit this, a little bit that, but, we're going to see how this works out. By the way, my name is Johnny. I'm the owner of Blazer Grass Lawn Care, and I service beautiful Savannah, Georgia. And I utilize, as you can tell, battery powered equipment. So, um, yeah, let's talk about it. Okay, so I had a lady that told me, listen, my last company was garbage. You know, the couple of guys have been coming to my house, have been doing a bad job. Um, the all she kept doing was trashing the last provider. Now, you can clearly tell by looking at the yard when you first get to it. If something was done, a couple of weeks ago, right? So I'm gonna tell you right now, if they trash the last company, right? Most likely they're gonna trash you. So you need to pay close attention to what they're saying, right? Now, if they're complaining about, okay, so the guy didn't edge all the time, or they started doing a great job, but once they got into you know the schedule, they started kind of not doing this and not doing that. Then okay, that's okay. But if all they're doing is trashing and trashing and trashing the other company, it needs to kind of make you think, man. And some of it is legit because some guys, they yeah, they don't do a good job, but yeah, if they start trashing the other company and they try to give you that unrealistic expectation, man, listen, move on. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, there's no way that the grass is growing all the time and the customer is trashing the company because they're not mowing their yard the right way and not doing this and not doing that. And you can clearly look and see that the yard hasn't been cut in a month or two, right? Another thing to look out for is if they haggle excessively, and they kind of devalue your work. Oh man, my last company was doing it for $30. You know, there's no way you should be charging 60 or $55. You know, um, you know, it's you're only cutting the grass. It's not that hard. They start devaluing your work, man, making you feel like, man, you're at their mercy. You know, come on now. Just I guess you just gotta take the signal and keep it moving. Another thing is if they ask for a ton of extra to be included, right? You say, okay, string trimming, edging, mowing and blowing is $60. Well, can you squeeze in the plant beds and hit the shrubs here and there, when it needs to, and then I'll take you on. I'll take you on. Those are little things that you need to kind of look at and say no. That is extra work. Keep it in mind, guys. Like I keep saying, if and I like to use electricians, if they go to a home to repair an outlet, the customer can't say, well, I have another outlet here that's not working as well. Can you just throw that one in? Can you fix it real quick for me? What's going to happen? They're going to get charged, right? There you go. Now, another thing also to look out for is that when they say, well, if you give me a good price, I'll call my family and my friends and my cousins and I give you all their properties, right? So if you do mine real cheap, I can get you all my cousins and friends, you know, uh, to go with you. Gotta look out for that, man. You can't. Those are little things that you gotta kind of look out. Another one is if you go, well, I have credit card on file, or I send my invoice right after I service the property that needs to be paid within X amount of days and whatever the case might be. And they go, well, I don't get paid until such and such. I can only pay you when I get paid. Listen, I understand that things are tight. I understand how some of you guys may feel. But at the end of the day, I'm running a business. Their money issues is not my money issue. Now, you may turn around and say, well, you don't mind, and that's fine. We're all running our businesses completely different, right? You do you. But I'm going to tell you right now, I can't stand being the last one on the totem pole to get my money. Everybody else get paid. Water bill, the car, the insurance, everybody get paid. But what happens to the long guy? We have to wait until the end, right? Nah, it doesn't work like that. When my invoice comes, when it's time for me to get paid, I want to get paid. And I'm sorry for your quote-unquote financial situation, but at the end of the day, if you can afford my services, then I need to move on. That's just the reality of things. Okay? Another one is, they're vague about payment or seem disorganized. So, if they don't want to talk about how or when they'll pay you, or they can't remember when other lawn services were done, they may be late payers, or they're trying to dodge your invoice later. So be very, very careful about that, guys. I keep telling you, little things like that are kind of telltale situations. Okay? Now, another one is if you show up to the property and you can clearly tell that this property hasn't been done for a good month, sometimes way beyond months, and they tell you, well, I don't know what happened to my guy, they just stopped showing up. Okay, I understand that the guy stopped showing up, but you're gonna wait 2-3 months later, and it can clearly look like this place hasn't been mowed in months. Guys, the best thing for you to do in situations like these are you get 50% payment done before you start, and then 50% down. After you finish the job, right? Because at the end of the day, let me tell you, you gotta be careful. One thing that you need to do, guys, is be careful for people who want special treatment without a relationship. You know what I mean? As soon as you go up there, you're doing estimates, and they're demanding to be mowed today. Skip your schedule and just get me mowed today. Then I'll give you the account. Don't worry about your paying clients, the one that's been paying you every month or years. Skip them because I want to be mowed today. Nah, you need to pay attention to little things like that, guys. No way in heck. Okay? So guys, put in the comments, especially if you guys been doing this for a while, put it in the comments and let me know, man, what situations are telltale signs for you guys when it comes to, yeah, I can clearly tell that this client is going to be a pain in the, the freebies. The freebies are the ones that kill me, right? I remember when I first started. Um, hey, can you I don't know, can you trim the shrubs real quick since you're here? You know, and I'm like, okay. And when I invoiced them for it, and that was my fault. Well, why are you invoicing me for it? We never agreed on that. I'm like, yo, but that was on me. I should have told him that it was additional services, you know. And one thing before I go, guys, and let you finish out this video. If you're doing freebies, let's say your, you know, your job is to string trim, edge, mow, and blow, and edge the plant bed, but then you take it upon yourself, right, to clean out their plant beds anytime you show up. I promise you, the day that you don't do it, you're going to get a phone call. You're going to get a phone call, and they're going to say, hey, you didn't clean out my plant bed this time. What happened? And then you're going to say, well, that wasn't part of the job. And they're going to look at you and say, well, you've been doing it. So what you going to do? You're going to do? Listen, been there, done that. I learned the hard way. If something needs to be done, tell the customer and keep it moving. But I'm jumping into something different, guys. Again, put in the comments, let me know, guys, and enjoy the rest of this video. All right, so we're finished with this property, and let me show you my beautiful result. Bam! Look at that. Nice, crispy. That's what I'm talking about. Centipede lawn mowed at a height of 2 inches. Beautiful, beautiful property. All right, guys. Thank you for watching my video. Like, share, follow, subscribe, all of that good stuff. See you on the next one. Pop smoke. Peace.